If you're looking to get into music production or take your music productions to the next level, then this video and video series is for you. We're going to be producing a song from scratch and taking you all the way from adding instruments and all of that stuff to mixing and mastering and getting the song radio ready. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing you want to do in the music production process is come up with an idea. Now, to make this example easier, what I have here is a vocal that I've downloaded from the internet, just a random vocal. And what we're going to do is compose some music around this vocal so I can show you how this works. So the first step is just to listen to what you have and kind of let your mind go into like some ideas and let the vocal itself or whatever the idea you have tell you what it is. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's take a listen to this.
Finally the war is over, it took some time, but now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it.
So we can already hear some stuff about this vocal, and this is where this ideation process comes in. This vocal is telling me like it's a pop style, maybe R&B kind of song. It's not like a rock song. It's definitely not a country vibe or anything like that, although we could take it in that direction. But again, this is just the idea process, and this is the initial stages of it. So now that gives me some direction to know the types of instrumentation I'm going to use, the tempo and the vibe of this song or the feel of this song and all of that. So the next step from there is once you have that, you kind of get a groove or a rhythm in your head for what this song is doing. Now, luckily, this vocal already has a tempo on it. You can see here it says 164 BPM. So I already have my DAW here set to 164. So I'll turn the click on so you can hear like the tempo and where the downbeat of this is. So check it out.
Finally the war is over, it took some time, but now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it.
Right, so you can hear that, dun, 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 something like that. That's kind of the groove. So let's just deal with that. Let's get some drums going, and I'll pull out my favorite drum VST here, which is battery 4. And we'll just get a beat going with this. We won't try to do anything overly complicated or anything like that. I'll pull up one of my kits here. We'll just see what we can work with. Let's go with this, and let's see what kind of sounds we get. So we're looking for a pop kind of vibe kit kind of style. So let's see what we got. Let me turn this off. Something like this works. So what I'm going to do here is just hit record, and I'm going to play with the beat to this song. So we'll see how this goes. So let's do this.
Finally the war is over, it took some time, but now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never...
Real simple, right? We got a beat going there. So let me turn the click off. Let me quantize that. I like to quantize my rhythms, especially as I'm going along in the process, because I'm a little tempo sensitive. I'm a drummer by heart, and tempo is always in my mind. So I want to make sure I hear what those downbeats are. So I'm going to quantize this to 16 notes. 8 notes is what I want to use. So there we go. Now let's take a listen to what we have.
Finally the war is over, it took some time, but now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never...
Like, just that quick, you pretty much already have a song. Now, or at least an idea of the song. But what I'm doing now is just getting ideas going so I can get a song going, so I can hear that piece and then say, oh, this is what it needs. Oh, I need to take that out. Oh, I need to add this, right? You see how that's going? So now from there, what we'll do is just loop this drum beat all the way through that song so we don't have to worry about kind of looping the song. And then from there, we'll go get like a bass line. This is where you start. You start with the sort of foundational thing, so like drums and bass. So let's get a bass going here. I'll use another one of my favorite VSTs, which is Trillion by Spectrosonics, you got to know about Trillion and all of these Spectrosonics instruments. So again, we got kind of an R&B pop vibe going here. So let's get, I don't know, I got a few basses I like saved here. I'm just going to pull up one. Again, this may change on down the line. I'm just going to pull up something here to get us started. So, and then let me close this, and then I'm going to turn the volume now because it's usually a little loud. Now, the key of this song is in A minor. You see it here. It says it's in A minor. So that's already given us a sort of key what we can deal with. So really A minor, relative major, C major. So, I mean, this is basically the key we're in. So what we can do is just play around with some notes and chord changes to let this bass line lead us. We'll start on the A, and I'm not going to even think about it. I'm just going to see what my mind does as we're playing this. So let me just go try to record something. Here we go. Said I'll start on the A. All right, here we go.
Finally the war is over. It took some time, but now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take.
Bam. We're onto a song. Let me quantize that. And let's listen to what we have so far. Let me turn the click off from there, and let's listen to it. Let's see.
Finally the war is over. It took some time, but now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take.
We're onto a song. Like you pretty much have the makings of a song here. I'll loop that all the way. I think the chorus may start here. She does something different up in here. So I'm not sure how long I'll loop this bass line, but just enough to get us there to move on to some other instruments. Now, from here, what you just do is you start thinking about other instrumentation and layers that you can layer on top of this stuff. So pop style stuff, you're going to hear a lot of synths, a lot of, background pads and vocal harmonies and strings and stuff like that, maybe doing some different type of rhythmic stuff, and even, a piano or something like that. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's get a piano going here. That'll kind of be our next layer of stuff here. And I'll go with another instrument track here, one of my favorites, which is another Spectrosonics instrument, which is Keyscape. And they have a pop piano preset in here. So let's just pull that up to get us started. Again, we're not putting much thought into this at all. So let me turn this on. Turn a little reverb on that. That's a little dry. Okay, so the chord progressions that I did here, I went from, I went from A to F to D to E. So basically that's going to be like an A minor to an F major something, maybe major 7, and then D minor, maybe D minor 7, of some kind, of D minor 9, something like that, and then to an E dominant 7. So we'll do that. Now, what we'll do is, because the bass line and the bass itself is already sort of rhythmic, we'll use this as more of a pad style. So we'll just do some chords where we'll lay on them, boom, like that, and then lay on them, okay? So let's try that. I'll do those chord progressions I just named. So let's go back here, and then I'll turn the click track on. Let's explain this, and then we'll go from here. All right, here we go.
Finally the war is over. It took some time, now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take it.
We got a song, man. We got a song. Let's listen to that. Let's see.
Finally the war is over. It took some time, now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, now, what if we do something like I'm thinking maybe like a string patch or something, like a singing kind of string patch or something like that. So let's do this. Let's add, let's use Contact, and then let's use the Session Strings Pro. That's the one we'll use. Session Strings. Okay, there we go. Session Strings Pro 2. And then let's go to the entire ensemble. So let me play with that. Again, let me see what I'm hearing.
Finally the war is over, it took some time now.
Okay, that's following the piano too much. So maybe, and kind of on top of the bass line too. So maybe, let's outline the chord. Let's see.
Finally the war is over, it took some time. Now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it.
So something like that. So you see how it's just kind of adding a layer there. So again, it doesn't necessarily have to make all the sense in the world right now. Let's just put some stuff in here and see what we got. And then we can go back and change later if we want. So let's do that. I'm just going to play something here.
Finally the war is over, it took some time. Now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take.
Cool enough. Sounds like a pretty cool string line. Let's quantize that. Now let's listen to and let's see what we have here. Turn the record off. Here we go.
Finally the war is over, it took some time. Now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take.
Let's listen to the music and take the vocal out. So check out how the music sounds by itself. Okay, so I mean it's kind of sparse, it's kind of empty for a pop song. I always like to throw, like, just in my production, just throw like a little bit of a curveball in there. See, this song, the direction of this is headed a certain direction. I'm hearing it going like more of that dum, 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 dum. It's almost like a heavy rock song. Dum, 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 dum. Like you can hear a guitar doing that, and we may add it in here, by the way. But to kind of offset that flavor a little bit. So if it's going like a hard flavor like that, I like to do something on the other side of the spectrum, like a little softer to offset it. So let's do something like an R&B pad. And let's use one of my favorite R&B style kind of, R&B gospel style kind of VSTs. And we can go get like one of these kind of pads. Let's see which one we can play with here. Sounds cool, right? Again, just something to throw it off now. You know, to throw off that flavor a little bit. So let's see. Let's find the one we like. Kind of like that one. Let's turn it down a little bit. It's kind of loud. We'll hear how it blends into the track. This is another trick that you want to know about producing. It helps in the mixing process. So if I have my piano here, I already know that the piano is playing up in that octave, up in here. So my piano is already up in there. So to offset that, I may play the pad, which are playing the same chords, down in this area instead of the same thing. Because what happens is when you have this, both of these going at the same time, same frequency. So when you're mixing it, and when we get to the mixing process, it makes those frequencies pretty much hold the same space. So it's harder to separate them versus if you already have them separated. We'll play this down an octave, and they're already separated. So that's just a quick mix tip going into mixing. All right, so let's record that and see what we have. All right, here we go.
Finally the war is over, it took some time. Now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take.
All right, so good. Let's make sure that's starting. Yeah, we need to move that up a little bit. And then what we'll do is loop it from there just to give us a little vibe, and then we'll take a listen to what we got. Okay, let's take a listen to that so far.
Finally the war is over, it took some time. Now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never.
So now we pretty much have the song built. Everything from there is just, will be a bunch of layers on top of stuff because we have a lot of stuff here. What I like to do at this point is go back to like the drums and play with them and add a little bit more flavor to them. So like we have this. Simple beat, right? Nothing to it. So what I would like to do is let me duplicate this, and I'm going to erase all of these that's on there. I'm going to select another kit, maybe like to offset this a little bit, maybe like a trap style kick. So let me see, trap. So yeah, This is close enough, like that trap snare sound. So like,
War is over, it took some time. Now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take it.
they're trap style stuff. So let's just add that. Again, this is just me coming up with it off the top of my head. So let's record it.
Finally the war is over, it took some time. Now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take.
Nice trap style, right? Okay, so, and then that makes me kind of want to change one more thing. So let me see. So that's what I was thinking about the kick. Let me get to the end of that phrase. Let me see what I was hearing. Maybe I can do it with this kick.
I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take.
Bam, that's hot. All right, let's do that. Let's record that while it's on my mind. Okay, see,
Got what's mine,
I lost it already.
and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take.
Let's try that. Let's see what that does. Let's quantize it. Okay.
Got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take.
We got ourselves a song, man. That's kind of hot, actually. So, like, listen to that groove now with just the drums going. That's hot, man. So you see, you kind of have a blend here of like this trap beat where you have, if you take the beat out, you really just have a smooth ballad. Let me take the vocal out. Put the drums back in, it's like, this is the song ideation process. And you got to allow yourself that space to come up with these ideas. Again, you can't let yourself be like, oh, that's a dumb idea. This is that. It's going to happen a little bit. You're going to be like, oh, that's not a good idea. And that's fine. But don't let that stop you. Just get it done. And you see how I just went back to add stuff later. And this, I mean, it could be a process where I do the same thing tomorrow. I could wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I'm not really feeling that string line. Let me change that. Let me add one more thing to it. But getting to that point to where you're just coming up with these ideas and where you get a song. Now, what I'm going to do is finish composing the song, and so we can get to mixing it. I'm not going to compose the entire song. It's pretty long. I want to get you through this process. So what I'll do here is just to show you how this will work, is going with this vocal. So we compose all the way up to here, and I think she changes something up in here. So let's see.
You can never take it from me. I never let you lay another finger on me.
Actually, no, that's kind of the same thing. So what we'll do, yeah, let's loop that all the way through that. So maybe that's all part of the verse. So then maybe it changes. Oh, I need to loop that differently on that one. So I'll come back to that later. So maybe it changes right here.
You thought you had me wrapped up like a gift in a box to.
See, that's where the chorus changes. So now what you do in this part of the song is you just take some of these elements and maybe you can mix them up. So maybe even like, I can keep the same beat. Let's keep the same beat just for the sake of the argument here. Going into the chorus, we got the same beat here going. Now, maybe instead of this bass line, maybe I can do it just slightly differently. So I can take this and do, okay, what was that? I went from A minor to F to D to E. So maybe I can go here, start on A minor, and then go to another note, go to the C. And then go to F. And then maybe go to G. So let's just listen to it and see what that sounds like. I don't want to record yet, so.
You thought you had me wrapped up like a gift in a box to collect whenever you wanted it. But I'll be gone before you know it.
Actually, it seems like I'm still supposed to go to E there, so maybe try, I like the C, so let me try something different.
You thought you had me wrapped up like a gift in a box to collect whenever you wanted it. But I'll be gone before you know
So something like that. It could be really easy. Let's go ahead and, since we're on it, let's go ahead and get that idea down. Let's see.
You thought you had me wrapped up like a gift in a box to collect whenever you wanted it. But I'll be gone before you know it.
Something like that. Could be easily, that simple. I'm not in love with what I just did, but again, it's just about getting the idea down. So now let's go put the keys on top of that. So let's do what we did there. Okay, here we go.
You thought you had me wrapped up like a gift in a box to collect whenever you wanted it. But I'll be gone before you know it.
There's our keys. Now, same thing with the pad. Let's take, what do we do with the pad? Let's put that on there. And
you thought you had me wrapped up like a gift in a box to collect whenever you wanted it. But I'll be gone before you know it.
And then, so what we got left? The strings, and then maybe instead of the line right there, like we were doing, maybe do something like, we'll hold on the string. So something, let me just come up with it as I'm doing. Here we go.
You thought you had me wrapped up like a gift in a box to collect whenever you wanted it. But I'll be gone before you know it.
Simple. And just that quick, we have a song. All right, so let's listen to it from the top.
Finally the war is over, it took some time. Now I'll be fine. I've got what's mine, and I'm gonna keep it. You can never take it from me, I'll never let you lay another finger on me. Finger on me. You thought you had me wrapped up like a gift in a box to collect whenever you wanted it. But I'll be gone before you know it.
We got a song. That is how you come up with ideas for a song and how you start producing a song. Again, what you're doing is just starting with an idea. It could be a melody. You don't have to start with the vocals. I could have done this with drums. I could have just had a drum beat starting with and say, hey, let me compose something around this drum beat, or let me compose something around this piano scale or chord progression or whatever. And then just come up with ideas until you get to a point to where you have a song that you can build on. And what we'll do in the next part is, once we finish layering the song, we'll get into the mixing and mastering process of how you make all of these instruments blend together to get a radio-ready sound that you can release. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.